their own pedigree in this cup and have been to the final. Let's run you through the changes for today, of which there are 4 for Orlando Pirates from that midweek outing against MC Alger. Sipo Chain, who has been the incumbent between the sticks, makes way for Malusi Buthelezi, who did play in the first round of this competition. Will soon be coming to an end. Here are today's opponents and how they line up. 3 changes for the 1-1 draw with SuperSport United in the Betway Premiership. Daniel Ekpe making way for Washington Arubi. Rekotso is out and Sabir steps in, a man who last played in January in the league, and Mbambaniso makes way for the veteran. This kid really got behind their side, saw them into the last 4 of Africa's elite. Now looking to make history in the National Cup are Orlando Pirates. Not since their own team of the 70s has a side won South Africa's National Cup 3 times in succession, but Orlando Pirates remain in contention to do so as Kota just lets that slip under his foot. Dino van Rooyen has raced onto it, straight down the throat of Washington Arubi.
In fact, it's a good steal by Van Rooyen. It takes anticipation to see that defender is ball watching, but it's a good start by Orlando Pirates applying the press.
Well, Dino van Rooyen, a goal or 2 in him, that's for sure. He's featured in all 3 of the Nedbank Cup game. Through a man now with Orlando Pirates, Philippe Ndlondlo, and did a Shandu equalising, and eventually went to penalty shootouts. Orlando Pirates actually had the advantage in that shootout, and then they went on to miss 3 spot kicks in succession as Bukazi looks to just shield that out of play. It will be a goal kick.
To come out for that long pass, but wasn't too sure what kind of bounce is going to get there, so he opted to stay, and I think that's what nearly caught the defensive unit sometimes. Just what might look very simple to somebody sitting in the stands.
Our first appearance of the season did come in the Nedbank Cup. That was towards the end of January in the 3-1 win over Richards Bay, and his second appearance coming in the league, a 1-0 win over Chippa United at the beginning of March, so just over a month ago, as Nkota's called offside. So only a 3rd appearance in all competitions this season for Malusi Buthelezi, despite the fact that Orlando Pirates have played in excess of this campaign.
I can imagine how much game time China is at, and it's important.
Pinged forwards by Dlamini for Dion Hotto. 2 of 3 players that were actually present for Orlando Pirates when they lost to Marumo Gallants in the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup back in 2022. Paseka Marco is the other. Washington Arubi was on the bench that particular day. But Lebo Mabocha did start. Guys gets it forward for Maswangani, who's brought down.
Malaka comes a bit late, full boot into the boot of Matswangan. And do not be surprised, the Pirates attack players on the left-hand side of the channel. So I hope it is something that Marumo Gallants will have picked up. At some stage, Mube will be overloaded with a few players attacking him.
There's Van Rooyen. Maswangani, clever little touch. Oh. Somehow keeps it moving with a bit of a scorpion kick, but straight through to Washington. Who was an absolute hero for TTM back in 2021 as they got to Van Rooyen into space for Evidence Mahopo. Continues to put some pressure here on Lusisibia. This is the second Nedbank Cup semi-final, so back in 2023, then with Stellenbosch, that semi-final that they went on to lose.
They've stayed so far back that they can't apply any form of a press to win the second ball. that is something that maybe they can improve on. But to play against a lot of pirates and give them that kind of space, you don't want to commit too many forward. That's why they're looking for that rest defense. Should it happen that they lose ball possession.
I see done by Van Rooyen, and then in quarter into Maswangani. Dlamini finishes it off, worked. And Dlamini adding to his all-time.
Man. First it was Sia Mtlapura.
Dion Hotel puts it in. Awkward to get it clear, but Trump does enough. There's Paseka Marco. Under pressure immediately from Zindami. Similarities between that moment and the one that resulted in Gallants' second goal against Pirates when last they met. A little too aggressive.
I guess the difference, of course, for Marumo Gallants is the three in that middle. It was the two sitting six defensive midfielders. So that changed now. Manaka is sitting back as the 1-6, which has allowed Tachela and Sitole to be a bit more offensive, which is why the action for Gallants is a little bit higher than it was.
Zindami in. Matlatsi's lurking. Arriving is Sitole, but he steered it straight at Buthelezi.
That, we didn't see much of that. Explaining my point, with a little bit more advanced play from Gallants, is because of those changes in that middle.
Well, it's now a second shot that they've got on target, but neither have been of very much consequence. Made for very routine saves. Buthelezi. Buthelezi with a good, strong claim. Hanging around in that vicinity. Towers above him. Duke. There's Mufokeng. There is Machopa. Got himself back on side. And still Machopa. Well, he goes for it with Patrick Maswangani on his inside, pleading for the ball.
The ball to be rolled into his path. But at the same time, Mahopa thought to himself, the goalkeeper is probably blinded from where he takes the shot. And the goalkeeper, can he play to the left?
Looking for Gabriel Mango, this is Junior Dion. Mube. May just about be able to keep it alive, and Gabriel Mango has done an excellent job. Dinodlo setting it back for Junior Dion. Buthelezi dominating aerially, and just 3 minutes of additional time here. One goal from Kenneth Ntateni came after 10 seconds. Still got bags of energy even this late into the game. CBC.
Covering defense, in and wake out. bulldoze of his balance by Dion.